In this video, I'll be making a mobile router bench. There were a few reasons for making this. Wanting a mobile router bench was obviously the main reason, but I also needed more bench space to work off and wanted to try out an idea I had for a kitchen table using black silicone. I don't know how to join timber that well, so I thought an angle iron might help to join it together whilst also being stiff enough to flatten it out. I started by cutting all the steel and timber to the right length. I then measured out and drilled all the holes in the steel. I double checked the spacing as I screwed it all in place, but unfortunately I still didn't get it perfect. That was the basis for the bench top, and I was pretty happy with how it all came together. The only problem was that the screws I used were a bit too long, but I figured it'd be quicker and easier to grind them off than try and replace them all. Next step was to work on the base. Like always, this starts off with a lot of cutting. I figured it would be easiest to put the wheels on first, but this kind of backfired as I put one of the legs on the wrong way and had to redo the wheel. I then went through and attached the sides, making sure to keep everything as square and level as possible. Once I was happy it was all square and level, I put the top on and screwed it all down. Before I could use the router, I had to go through and grind off all the screw tips. This turned out to be a much bigger job than I thought, and replacing the screws probably would have been a quicker and easier job. It was then easy enough to measure out where the perspex will go and router it all out. This is where the black silicone comes in. I had seen it done on timber floorboards with the black silicone in between as a bit of an effect. So I wanted to see how difficult it would be to do on a table. I had left 1 centimetre gaps between the timber boards, which in hindsight was too large. I ended up running out of silicone and having to go back to the store for more. The back of a chisel worked well to scrape off the excess silicone and give it a sharper look. Next step was to measure out and drill all the holes to mount the router to the perspex. A large Forstner bit was used to cut out a hole in the middle for where the router bit will go. It always surprised me when things all fit together properly on the first try. I was pretty happy with how it was all coming together. Then there was just lots and lots of sanding. I was a bit worried how the silicone would handle being sanded, but it didn't seem to cause any problems at all. To finish it off, I used a sheet of MDF for the bottom shelf and then added a few extra storage hooks. The end result was better than I expected. I'll try and seal it up with some sort of varnish at a later date, but at this point I'm happy to leave it raw. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.